Good morning, rise and shine. It's Greeners, Carey, and Sherri time. Hey guys, welcome. We're going to start off with a handy, dandy, fun little video that you haven't seen before. So here we go.
We changed the paradigm of healthcare.
The Green Nurse is a holistic cannabis nurse that teaches on the endocannabinoid system and the safe utilization of cannabis and other progressive tools to help people reach a better quality of life.
I'm the founder of Holistic Caring. We're based here in California, and we do educational programs and case management for patients on how to use cannabis therapeutically as a medicine.
We're also here to decrease stigma around what it means to feel good and be high, hence the H for hope, I for inspiration, G for growth, and H for healing.
As the founder of Holistic Caring, I basically oversee the whole ship, and what we're doing is progressive education.
Cannabis actually supports all 11 organ systems, our immune system, and all the neurotransmitter signaling systems that give messages to tell our body to either do something or not do something. Because the plant was prohibited, it prevented health professionals, doctors and nurses from learning about cannabis as medicine.
I want to change the paradigm of healthcare and us paving the way into a new vanguard of medicine. And I'm excited to really bring this into light. There's a company called Canum that we're merging with, and we will now be doing global education.
It's about education, it's about empowerment, it's about teaching people how to feel good, bridging the gap from what they're not getting from traditional medicine, utilizing different plant medicines, adaptogens, tips, tricks, hugs, and nugs of information to support and nourish the most important system in our body.
And it's a lot of soul work, a lot of love, a lot of discipline, and meditation. I'm using my life work as a testimony to others to learn how they can be their own hero and then go help heal the world.
And we are, as nurses, the game changers.
Oh shit.
Oh. You were
Mercury.
so overtaken. You were so overtaken by the sheer awesomeness of that video.
You know, I'd love to make that excuse for sure, but I think it's a combination of things in play. We have a lot of retrogrades going on in the world today. And electronics are definitely, here we go. Mercury retrograde. Let's make the best of it. You can't even see my cup. Live in the moment. That's what it says. Cheers, everyone. Rise and shine. It is get through Mercury retrograde time. Seriously.
Wake up and be awesome. That's what my cup says, baby.
Oh, wake up and be awesome. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to decrease stigma around what it means to feel good and really use cannabis as medicine and utilize other tools that support the endocannabinoid system. We want you all to feel healthy and feel good. And just like the end of that video said, we're here to change the paradigm of healthcare because THC is in healthcare, number one. And number two, there is a revolution in healthcare. It has to do with patient empowerment and teaching people how to really think for themselves, how to tap into their own innate wisdom, listen to their body, and ask a lot of fucking questions. Seriously, I don't mean to say that F word, but I tell you what, you need to ask a lot of questions. And I'm going to give you a quick little story before we get into the show. So I've been taking care of a cancer patient. She's a new cancer patient and literally went from 0 cancer to metastatic stage 4 cancer really, really fast, very aggressive tumor. And her doctors keep telling her week by week, you just have another week to live. You just have another week to live. And I basically said to her, I said, don't let them keep slipping that banana peel into your grave. Seriously, we all have one foot in the grave and one foot on a banana peel. Bottom line is this: they don't know. So question it all. Because I'm telling you right now, if you're getting in and out of bed, seriously, if you're eating, peeing, and pooping, and if you are engaging in conversation, I promise you're not going to die in the next week unless something tragic happens, right? It's seriously, you can't, for doctors to, I just think it's just horrible to put this patient in this state of mind where they're giving her no hope. Now, the thing about with hope, it's not that I'm giving her false hope, but there needs to be something, a starting point, that not to give up. You're alive until you take that very last breath, right? And so our jobs is to do what we can in this moment in time to help ourselves. So here's the other part of the story, because this just happened yesterday when I was talking to her. She says, I might be eligible for a clinical trial. And I'm like, that's great. They give you a week to live. And now they're putting you in clinical trials. So I just basically, so my question, I said, let's just ask some questions. And so I had her write down a series of questions. And basically, what are they doing for you right now while they decide whether they're going to put you on a clinical trial or not? You know what her answer was? Nothing. So I said, have you spoken to your doctor about cannabis as medicine? Yes, but they're afraid it's going to eliminate me from the potential of being in a clinical trial. So I know.
Wow.
So I had to, so I just basically had to sit with her and I just had to say, listen, if they're going to drug test you for a clinical trial, I said, I just want you to sit and think about that, because right now you do have some options and some choices, and I'm not going to tell you what to do, but CBD would be a great start. If they are going to test you, it is not going to hurt you. And here is the fear of this woman with cancer. And to be quite honest too, she's very knowledgeable about cannabis as medicine. She is not stigmatized by it. She wants to use it, but she's afraid. Here she is being told she's going to die, have a week to live. There's a possibility of a clinical trial, but God, don't use cannabis because you might be eliminated from the critical trial. I'm like, this poor woman. And so basically I know, right? We set up a little care plan, provided her with hugs and nugs, and we're going to start her on a CBD regimen until they decide, it's better than nothing. So I always tell people, do not give up. And another story too, and I related it to my son too. And the reason why is because they told me my son was going to be mentally retarded, that he was going to not be able to eat, have growth retardation. They said that he was going to need a feeding tube, all of these different things when he was born because he has a rare genetic disorder. So here it is they tell you these things and it's outside of you, right? And it's not to say not to believe them, but really, really, really start asking questions, because every single thing that those doctors said about my son didn't come true. Not one. And so that's where my hope comes from when I'm working with patients,
Yes. Oh, babe.
Yeah, it's hard.
It is hard.
It's hard. So here I am crying on this Thursday morning because I care and feel so deeply for people that are suffering.
Yeah.
And no one has to suffer. So here we go. Yeah. I had my moment. You saw my tears. And here we go. We're here to bring you guys joy this morning. And that's, I'm sharing these stories because they're so, so important for people to know and understand that the traditional medical system is still plagued with stigma, that they would not even consider to allow a patient into a clinical trial that's using cannabis. It's wrong. Completely 100% wrong. And I don't care. It's wrong with the capital W.
Yep.
So with that, let's just settle into Thursday morning. So grateful to be here. This is your daily dose of awesomeness. And, I'm so grateful to have Carey Lee. I've just been blabbing for the first, I don't know how many minutes. But anyways, I want to introduce Carey Lee, Green Nurse, Iowa, for the new viewers that are out there. Carey, just say hello to everyone. Let them know how awesome you are and everything that you're doing in the plant medicine space.
I just first of all want to say thank you so much for sharing, being open and vulnerable with all of us and sharing those stories. Sherri, I know that that's not easy to do, and I commend you for that. And I love you so much. And it's sharing those stories that's really going to help change healthcare as we know it, which is much needed. So thank you very much.
So
Good
yeah, so
morning.
here it is too. It's like being able to cry with a patient, right?
Yes, yes,
And letting that
absolutely.
patient see and know that you feel what they're going through.
Yes,
Anyways.
yes,
Oh, so
absolutely.
Carey Lee. All right, let's get rid of the tears for now. It's
All
just this,
right.
here it is. It's a
So
flow of emotion. What it is it's really, it's like a flow of emotion. It's disappointment, it's sadness. It's feeling what that patient's feeling. It's really embracing the entire human connection as to what this patient's going through, that is dying of cancer, that wants to live and will do anything possible to do that. That's what it's all about, right? It's
it
about giving
is.
her that hope and that
It
inspiration to
is.
do the best she
And
can.
having like, letting her feel like she is seen and heard,
Yeah,
and she's not just another number on the schedule for the day to be seen. You know what I mean?
I
So
know. I
thank you
know.
so much. So good morning,
Wow.
everybody. I am Carey
Good.
Lee. I'm a registered nurse here in Iowa. I'm a cannabis nurse that connects patients to the program here in Iowa. I teach about the endocannabinoid system, the safe choosing of products, and how to use those products effectively. I'm also a nursing supervisor and mentor within the holistic caring community with the Green Nurses, certified ketamine nurse guide. And I'm a cannabis stigma fighter as well. For me, it's about mental health patients. They can use the plant with proper education, monitoring, and follow up. So, yes, I'm fighting right alongside with you. Very proud and loud, Sherri. Absolutely. So,
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. And
yeah,
that's the thing too, is here's the thing. Ryan's law just passed too, right? And
yes,
they're allowing cannabis as medicine into the hospitals for patients. And so, this is something that,
it's
more
huge.
and more, it's huge. It's
It is
really
so
huge.
huge. Mm,
And it is the time to bridge the gap. It is the time to bring plant medicine into conventional medicine. It is time. The time has come. And so, Carey Lee, I am so grateful for everything that you do. You are a game changer. You are revolutionary. You came into the cannabis space, working as a nurse in the adult care setting,
hmm
the skilled nursing facility taking
Yes,
care of geriatric patients.
yes,
And what I love too is how you've completely, through plant medicine, cannabinoid therapeutics, and all of the different tools that we talk about, you were able to create Soul Thrive, right? Nurse Carey Lee, the Daily 5 to Thrive. And will you just share
yes.
with our viewers what that's all about? And then we're going to get into some love.
Sure, sure. So, Five to Thrive was birthed out of my own mental health journey as a patient. I, am one of those that has treatment resistant depression. So, what that basically means is that the psychiatric medications that I was put on over the years did not improve the symptoms of depression. The side effects from those medications actually created worse feelings for me than the depression itself. And it is a form of pharmaceutical trauma, as we call it. So it literally set a fire under my ass to find other ways, other solutions to help me get back into balance. I wasn't getting the answers or the support that I needed from my medical community. Big surprise there, right? So I basically found that these five basic things for myself really helped me get my mental health back into balance, which then in turn gets our body and spirit in line as well, right? They all
Yeah.
just so happen to help nourish and support the most important body system, the endocannabinoid system. So some of those things in that
Mhm.
five are sleep hygiene, nutrition and hydration, moving your ass every day, exercise, stuff that you enjoy, mindfulness and spirituality like meditation, gratitude journaling, oracle cards, and whatnot. And then lastly, and my most favorite is sunshine, getting outside every
Mhm.
day, getting in that sun, or supplementing with the sunshine vitamin or light therapy. So,
Mhm.
um, Yeah, I mean, crazy, crazy. It's been a game changer. It's been a life changer. I like to try to help people go from their like survival zone to their thrive zone. So we kind of
Yeah.
utilize these tools to kind of try to figure that out and help them along, right?
Here we go. Help you all
Yeah.
along because we
Yes.
love you.
Love. We're spreading that green nurse loving,
Here we
baby,
are.
every
Yep.
day. So,
High energy.
all
Your
right. Speaking
love
of
is
cards,
lifting
how about
me. Surrender. What are we surrendering to today?
surrender cards, baby? Surrender cards.
I'm
So,
surrendering to my emotions.
yes. And we just went into the moon, like moon cycle. We just went into Cancer, I believe.
Oh, and then guess
So,
what? Guess who's got a ton of houses in Cancer?
boom. You do.
Watery flow. I cry like that, but it's because I feel so
Aw,
deeply.
that's okay. Feel it, baby. Feel it. Okay, so I've got the deck split in three numbers, 1 through 3. What would you like, my love?
Ooh, I'm gonna pick 2 because there's 2 of us today.
Deuce. Deuce. Oh, here we go. This is uh-oh. Got to get the glasses on the old 40
The old
something year old
specs.
eyeballs. Okay, so surrender your belief in scarcity. The
Ooh,
universe is asking you to open to the infinite nature of abundance. In this way, you can remove blocks in your life and succeed beyond your wildest dreams. Scarcity, that's a big thing, isn't it?
yeah, yeah,
It can stop
yeah.
you dead in your tracks, stop you from pursuing, your dreams and your goals. You just have to believe that you are provided for. Universe is providing for you no matter what. So get out there and get after it no matter what. Right?
That's it. And then here's the thing too, when we talk about the law of attraction, we talk about gratitude and love, being grateful for the littlest things in our lives. So gratitude is the key that unlocks the door to all that is good in our lives. So when you're grateful for something, guess what the universe says? Whoa, she likes that. I'm gonna keep having that stuff show up in her life because she's grateful for it. Gratitude and love are the 2 highest
Yeah.
highest frequency vibrational words to truly change the dynamics of how you think and what happens in your life. It's true, it's real. Woo woo is real. And we're going to have that guy on, really talking about energy and vibration and resonance and thoughts, in the information field and how we take in information from multiple different layers through thoughts, through feelings, through emotions, through actions. All of our senses, right, affects us energetically. And so when I'm going back to this quote really quickly, I'm going to turn it into cannabis a little bit, right?
Do it. Do it.
Cannabis grows abundantly. It's a weed. It grows like a weed, right? And so the cannabis plant, trusts in the universe, right? It gets fed, it gets watered, it gets nourished by the ground, it grows towards the light, right? So think about the abundance of cannabis. So what I want to put the mindset, the intention out there is that everyone thinks about the abundance of cannabis. So cannabis flows easily and effortlessly to all of us, right?
Yeah.
Abundance, abundance.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
I
Love
do.
it.
I love it too. So Throwback Thursday, we're going to dig right into this because the seasons are changing. We're going
Mhm.
from summer to fall, the solstice, Mercury's in retrograde. We have the retrograde means everything's going backwards. So I forget how many planets are in retrograde, but it's really, and it can really throw people off. 6 planets. There you go. All right. So there you go. 6
Yeah.
planets. We love you.
Yes,
So,
we love you.
and the thing is these types of things, you can trigger, and especially with weather and temperature change and the sun and how the sun shines can change our mental status, can change how we perceive information, our emotions, and can actually lead into seasonal affective disorder. Some people are prone to it, some people aren't. So, seasonal affective disorder is a major depressive disorder with a seasonal component of it. So with Throwback Thursday, Carey Lee has produced this show. I'm very grateful for you, Carey Lee, for helping bring these great topics for people to explore. So we're going to get into the history of seasonal affective disorder, and I am going to let my girl Carey Lee lead this segment.
Awesome. So to start with, seasonal affective disorder, as Sherri said, basically it's the further you live from the equator, the higher the risk you have of having it. It's basically it's the sensitivity to the lack of sunlight, right? So
Right.
what happens to us when we enter the fall and winter months living here in the north? Our days become shorter, so we have less exposure to sunlight. So some of the marked symptoms of seasonal affective disorder would be an immediate lack of energy, oversleeping, daytime oversleeping, um, perception becomes skewed. There's a component
Mm.
of social anxiety and even a taste of agoraphobia in there. Low sex drive, um, elevated cravings for those gnarly carbohydrates like donuts and cakes and pies and whatnot. Um, it really affects our sleep pattern, so it's a mood disorder. So anywho, I'm going to start off by just saying the most of my information comes from this book. I'm not an affiliate. I don't make anything by touting this book, but I highly recommend reading this book by Dr. Norman Rosenthal, Winter Blues: Everything You Need to Know to Beat Seasonal Affective Disorder. um, he trained as a physician. It's really fascinating. He trained as a physician in South Africa, which the climate there, the two dominant seasons are pretty much summer and winter. So he never really noticed he never really noticed fluctuations in his own mood while he was living there,
Right.
right? It wasn't until 76 when he relocated to New York to partake in his psychiatric residency, where he immediately noticed during the summertime boundless energy and less need for sleep. And then, he writes about and expresses how during the fall he was completely unprepared for, the impact that the shorter days would have on his
Right.
mood and his behaviors. It made him want to isolate and withdraw, from
Yeah.
society, which is, typical with depression. Um, he started a research fellowship at the National Institute of Mental Health in Maryland, where he met Alfred Louis and Frederick Goodwin. These guys were working on research with shifting moods and perception based upon brain chemistry. So this intrigued Dr. Rosenthal because he's been studying mood disorders, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
I think what's fascinating about Louis, Alfred Louis, is he discovered a way to measure melatonin. Um,
Ooh.
Melatonin is produced in the pineal gland.
Mhm.
It releases microdoses of melatonin at night into our bloodstream. This cues animals and humans that it's dark and it's time to go to sleep and stay asleep, right?
Right.
Um, why is this significant when it comes to seasonal affective disorder? Well, the discovery of bright light suppressing melatonin production, that was a key factor in discovering SAD. Um, you know, it melatonin secretion is an important chemical signal.
Yep.
It regulates seasonal patterns in animals, but the nerve pathways that are involved in the suppression of melatonin, um, it plays an important role in other physical functions that are disturbed by
Right.
depression, such as eating, sleeping, weight control,
Right.
sex drive. What else
Right.
impacts those things? The endocannabinoid system,
Cannabinoid system. Right.
right?
Right. Interesting.
So it is interesting. It's fascinating.
So
So
I have a question. So I have a
sure,
question because I'm
sure.
so if this discovery of bright light suppressed melatonin production, right? So how does that pair? How do we how does that roll into how do we take care of seasonal affective disorder?
I love that. And I'm going to tell you, that's an excellent
Okay.
question. So because we have this reduced exposure to daytime sunlight, right? Our bodies are then like, hello, we're going to go ahead and keep secreting melatonin during the day, which what happens then? It throws off our sleep cycle. We're sleepy and
There you
drowsy
go.
during the day. We want to sleep during the day. We want to overeat. We don't want to have sex. We don't want to exercise and move. It's just
There
an
you go.
absolute nightmare. So if we, when they discovered that light suppresses that production, they realized maybe this could also help with mood regulation, since those same nerve pathways impact, mood and behavioral patterns, right? So if you use the light therapy to mimic a longer summer day, you're suppressing that melatonin production, therefore reducing all of these symptoms, correct? And let me just show you, I brought my light lamp just to kind of give you a little peek. Now this is a small one. Woo!
All right. Oh my God. Wait a minute. Wait a second.
Can you see it?
That's,
Oh my
that's,
God.
here's
It's
mine.
bright. You got yours? Yeah, girl. So
So
I
I'm
mean,
gonna.
it's fascinating. It really truly is,
Yeah, it is. And you introduced that to me, Carrie Lee, and I found it to be really, really, really interesting to use because you need to be careful about how long you use it for.
Yes, you do.
And here's the reason why. And Carrie Lee will give us a suggestion as to how to use light therapy. But I love the light too. And so being stuck in the house and COVID and my agoraphobia and wanting to work, I was going to doing everything possible I could to make myself feel good. So this light's on, and I'm like, this feels really good. Well, I kept it on for
It's
10 hours.
addicting. Oh my God.
I had it on for 10 hours, which is a little bit overdose of sunlight. And so basically the bottom line, it really, really kept me awake. So that melatonin, right? It wasn't,
It suppressed it. I think it's safe to
It's
say it suppressed the secretion, honey.
it suppressed it. It suppressed the secretion. So here I am, boink, the middle of the night. I'm like, I was like, oh God, what do I got to do tomorrow? Start getting the next day's activities done in the middle of the night. Anyways, so when you're using light therapy, Carrie Lee, just explain. We're going to get into light therapy.
Well, actually,
more
you know what?
extensively.
We'll do a special segment on that. How
All
about
right,
next
let's do that.
Wednesday? We'll do a
Next
segment on
Wednesday,
it.
light
I just
therapy.
wanted to show like the impact, and really that discovery that the light suppresses that melatonin production, that led to the explosion of research on seasonal affective disorder in the early 1980s. So, it's amazing. We'll go into it. Here's a couple other things I just want to throw out there because I know we're kind
Yeah.
of running out of time.
Yeah.
I thought this was fascinating. He talks about famous people from all throughout time, and just based upon their writings, and certain things that they could have also had seasonal affective disorder. And here's one that stood out to me. Um, Emily Dickinson, she wrote, she could not meet the spring unmoved, and on summer days described herself as an inebriate of air and a debauchery of dew. She wrote, there's a certain slant of light winter afternoons that oppresses like the heft of cathedral tunes. I mean, if that doesn't describe the
It does.
dreary days of winter,
That's pretty
other
powerful.
like Van Gogh, was Van Gogh sensitive to light? His artwork is packed with the use of light, symbolizations, and one of his writings, which really stood out to me, he writes, hardly ever have I begun a year of gloomier aspect or in a gloomier mood. It is dreary outside. The fields are a mass of lumps of black earth and some snow, with days mostly of mist and mire. This is what I see in passing and is quite in harmony with the interiors. Very gloomy these dark winter days.
Wow.
Abe Lincoln, Winston Churchill, Michelangelo, Edgar Allan Poe, Hemingway, Virginia Woolf, Sir Isaac Newton. The book is
There you go.
fascinating. I really, like I said,
love
I
it.
really recommend grabbing it. You can even go to your local library just to check it
I'm
out.
gonna write. Can you give me the title of it again so I can just type it in our
Sure,
notes?
absolutely. It's called Winter Blues. Everything you
Winter
need to know.
Blues.
Everything you need to know to beat seasonal affective disorder by Norman Rosenthal, MD.
Seasonal affective disorder by Norman Rosenthal. All right, guys, I just put it in the comments there for you all. This is awesome because, these are things that people don't talk about. And we like to talk about things that people don't like to talk about. And we like to combine endocannabinoid system education around all of these different topics because they're all related. You know, the endocannabinoid system is the largest neuroregulatory system in our body. It regulates all 11 organ systems, our immune system, and all of the neurotransmitter signaling systems that give messages to tell our body to do something or not do something. So the endocannabinoid system regulates our sleep, and so do a lot of other things. We mentioned some of the things today, and we're going to dive deep into light therapy next week.
Yeah.
Which is really fun.
Oh my God.
So yeah.
Look at
So-
everybody that's out in the audience, Sherri. Good
Hi.
morning, and thank you for joining us, you guys.
Y'all saw me cry today, but guess what? It felt so good to release that frustration. You know, it did. It felt so good. And now I'm happy because I shared it all with you. And I want y'all to share this message. Get the message out. Green Nurse Love. We're here to love you all with those hugs and nugs. And let me put up my handy dandy banner to keep plugging. Here we go. We got a community. Whoa. You know, and the community is growing and expanding really fast because as you saw at the beginning of the video, guess what? Not only is holistic caring and the Green Nurse has merged, but we have a company from Australia that's also taking a huge interest, and we merged with them to provide global education for providers around the world. And guess what that means? More patients are going to be helped because we, as the nurses, are going to be doing the training and working with patients. So working with providers across the globe to get the message of plant medicine out there so people can what? Show up, be the favorite versions of themselves, to live their best life and to help others do the same. So join the community. It's free introductory to cannabis course, free patient portal and support group. Elizabeth wrote this awesome book, free book club. So, and you don't need to own the book. And we're actually doing monthly webinars and, you know, and having support groups and affiliate programs. We really care about you all. And so I'm just going to leave it at that. Join us in the community. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. All right, let's get up this handy dandy exit video. Mercury, I love you. You're working.
Have a great day, everybody.
Yeah. Have a great day, everybody. We love you. And we'll see you tomorrow morning. Carey Lee's with me tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time, 8 a.m. Central time. Carey Lee, you're awesome. Thank you for joining me. We love you all. And remember, it's about living your best life and helping others do the same.